One time there's this little old boy and little old gal and little old man, little old woman, and a dead Jim little pop-eyed monkey lived just outside of town. Now that little old woman went in the kitchen one day and she got all her stuff out and she says, I'm going to make us some biscuits. And everybody liked biscuits because she sure could cook them good. So she got all of her stuff out of the cabinet and got her pans out, and she looked and she didn't have any baking soda. And she says, now what am I going to do now? She tells that little old boy, says, hon, go down there at the store. They just lived right outside of town. Said, go down there at the store and get us some baking soda. And he said, well, because they lived in South Carolina, and that's how they say okay down there. So he took off out across the field and went down across the bridge and went over to town and went in the store, and he said, I'd like to get some baking soda. So the storekeeper said, well, and got him some baking soda, and the little old boy took it, said thank you, and headed back toward the house. Now when he got back over to the bridge, he bent over the bridge because he loved to do what everybody loved to do when they came to the bridge, and that was tease the fat man. Because there was a fat man lived under that bridge, and he was gargantuan. He was humongous. And so he leaned over the bridge and he says, hey, fat man, how did you get so fat? And the fat man used to be a very jolly, nice feller. But everybody teased him so much it made him mean. And he come crawling out and he says, I eat a barrel of beans and a bucket of lard. I eat a herd of sheep and a herd of cattle. I eat me a crouton. And the little old boy whoop, and swallowed him up. Well, after a little while, that little old man, that little old woman, that little old gal, and that little old pop-eyed monkey was sitting back at the house, and they wondered where that little old boy was. And that little old woman says, that little old gal says, hon, go down there and see where your brother is. So she headed down toward town, went across the bridge, and went to the store, and asked the storekeeper, have you seen my brother? The storekeeper thought a minute, and he said, yes, I have. Said he was here quite some time ago, and he got some baking soda, and then he left. She said, well, surely he's home by now. So she headed back on toward the house. Well, when she got to the bridge, guess what? She loved to tease the fat man. So she leans over the bridge and she says, hey, fat man, how did you get so fat? And the fat man says, I eat a barrel of beans and a bucket of lard. I eat a herd of sheep and a herd of cattle. I eat me some croutons. And a little old boy and a little old pop-eyed gal and swallowed her up. Well, I back at the house, everybody got to thinking, now where's that little old gal gone to? So that little old woman says, that little old man says, go down there and see where them young'uns is. He says, well, so he took off down toward the store. Well, when he got to the store, he asked the storekeeper, have you seen that little old boy and that little old gal that lives at my house? That storekeeper thought a minute and said, yep, that little old boy was here, and that little old gal was here looking for him. He took the baking soda and left, and she went looking for him back at the house, and they left quite some time ago. So little old man says, all right, and headed back toward the house, thinking surely they're home by now. Well, when he got to the bridge, guess what?
He loved to tease the fat man.
He loved to tease the fat man. That's it. And he says, hey, fat man, how did you get so darn fat? And the fat man says, I eat a barrel of beans and a bucket of lard. I eat a herd of sheep and a herd of cattle. I eat some croutons. I eat me a little old boy, a little old slip of a gal, and a little old skinny bald-headed man. Whoop, and swallowed him up. Well, back at the house, that little old woman, that little old pop-eyed monkey sat there and looked at one another a while. Then that little old woman says, well, where's them people that live at this house? She says, if you got to do anything around here, you got to do it yourself. So she headed off toward town. When she got there, she asked the storekeeper, you seen them people that live at my house? And the storekeeper says, Yes, I have. That little old boy was here. That little old gal was here looking for him. That little old man was here looking for them, and they all left quite some time ago. So she said, surely they are home by now and headed back toward the house. Well, when she got to the bridge, guess what? She loved to tease the fat man. But she was more polite about it than everybody else. She leaned over the bridge and she says, "Oh, fat man, how did you become so obese?" And the fat man crawled out and said, "Obese? That means fat. I eat a barrel of beans and a bucket of lard. I eat a herd of sheep and a herd of cattle. I ate me some croutons. And little old boy, a little slip of a gal, a little skinny bald-headed man, a little old short woman with hair growing on her chin, and swallowed her up." Well, back at the house, that little old pop-eyed monkey sat there a while. He diddled his tail, because he had a big long monkey tail. He played with his ears a while. He picked the fleas off himself. He looked around and he got to thinking in his monkey language, which means, I wonder where them people is that live at this house. So, he took his little old monkey tail, stuck it straight up in the air, and headed toward town. He went across the bridge and went on over to the store, and he asked the storekeeper, says, which means, have you seen them people that live at my house? And the storekeeper, although he seemed ignorant, was very highly intelligent and knew 17 languages fluently. And he said, the long and short means, them people was here and they left quite some time ago. So that little old monkey thinks to himself, which means surely they're home by now. So he took his little long monkey tail, stuck it straight up in the air, and went back toward the house. Except when he got to the bridge, guess what he loved to do?
He loved to tease the fat man.
You said it. So he leans over the bridge and he says, which means, "Hey, fat man, how'd you get so fat?" And the fat man didn't know a whole bunch of languages, but he'd been around that monkey long enough, he knew what he said, and he said, which means, "I ate a barrel of beans, bucket of lard, herd of sheep, herd of cattle, a bunch of croutons, a little old boy, little old gal, a little old woman, a little old man, and a dead Jim little pop-eyed monkey. Oh!" And when he did that, the monkey took his monkey tail and went straight up a tree, and the fat man missed. Well, that monkey went out on a limb and hung by his monkey tail off of that limb, saying, which means, "Ah ha ha ha." And so the fat man says, "Oh, surely that little old skinny monkey can crawl out on that limb with his little old skinny monkey legs. I, a great, giant, beautiful, obese fat man, can climb out on that limb and get him." So up the tree he went to get the monkey. So he climbed, and he climbed, and he climbed out across the limb, and he climbed, and he went, and he was almost close enough, and crack! The limb broke, and down came the fat man. The monkey strung his monkey tail up on the next limb and hung there, and the fat man, boop, splatted on the ground and busted wide open. And out came a barrel of beans, a bucket of lard, a herd of sheep, a herd of cattle, a whole bunch of croutons, a little old boy, a little old slip of a gal, a little old skinny bald-headed man, a little old woman with hair growing on her chin, and a school bus with a busload of young'uns that disappeared about 6 months ago. And everybody looked at the fat man and said, "Hey, fat man, how did you get so skinny?"